Jenny. We'll see you real soon. All right, Jumbo, everybody. My name's Matt. I'll be your driver for our safari adventure through the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. My friends, the reserve itself was established back in 1971, since it has grown as an 800 square mile reserve. Now, Kilimanjaro Safaris was given permission to exclusively tour the reserve in 1998. And above your head, you'll see examples of all the animals we've been able to find out there on the reserve since that day. Now, we probably won't see every single animal if they're on that guide, just simply due to sleeping habits and migration patterns, but we'll do our best to find as many as we possibly can. Y'all are, of course, more than welcome to take as many photos as you like while we're out there. Be more than happy to pause for a few animals for a few seconds. Can't stop for everything, but I'll stop for quite a few. But the animals won't stop moving for us. So having your cameras on a sports or an action setting is a good idea, since we're moving and so will they. Now, anybody on their very first safari ever? Anybody never been on safari before? Got a few first-time safari goers back there. Well, Karabuni, welcome, and welcome back to the rest of you. Glad you're able to join us here at Kilimanjaro. Now, whether it's your first safari or your 100th safari, no two trips are ever the same. The animals definitely make sure of that one. I will ask you throughout our journey, everybody remain fully seated for me, keeping hands and arms inside the vehicle. We'll be traveling through lots of rough brush. Quite a few of those bushes have very long and sharp thorns, so please do not stand up, do not lean out of the vehicle. Very, very important. If you have any small children traveling with you, they can sit on your laps, but please make sure they remain seated as well. Don't hold them up in the air or anything like that. Now we're going to begin our trip in an area known as the Little Ituri Forest. The animals in the forest blend in quite well with their surroundings. They have excellent natural camouflage. Helps them stay hidden out there amongst the plant life. They blend in quite well. Sometimes we don't see them until they pop up right next to us, but that's why it's good, like I said, to have that camera out and ready to go. It's going to be a big help to you if you plan on taking photos. As soon as we get the green light from the warden, we're going to be making our way in. There we go, we got it, let's go.
At the white light.
Up to our right side, I actually see a couple animals up there on the hill. I see an Okapi and a yellowback diker. The yellowback diker is the smaller of the two. They get their name from the Afrikaans word for diver, because when they're scared, they let out a sharp squeal, they dive into the tall bushes, and they hide. They're very rare animals. They're one of 17 different species of diker, actually the largest. So all the other species are smaller than that one. Now the Okapi is the one with the black and white stripes on its legs. Makes it look like it's related to the zebra. It's actually the only known relative of the giraffe. The way we know they're actually related to the giraffe, they have the same skull structure, same long prehensile tongue, same number of vertebrae. They share a good bit of DNA with the giraffe. They're very shy, very reclusive animals. In fact, they weren't even discovered by Western scientists until 1901. Prior to that, they were actually thought to be a hallucination because they were so difficult to find. A little farther ahead of us on the hill to the right, some greater kudu. Greater kudu are the second tallest members of the antelope family. They stand about 5 feet tall. Those are female kudu. We can figure that out because they don't have any long horns on their head. Male kudu have horns reach about 6 feet long. There's a black rhino laying down on the hill to your left, way out there. And there's another one a little bit closer to us here, but still a little harder to see. Black rhinos weigh about 3,000 pounds. They can charge about 35 miles per hour when they're running full speed. We are very fortunate to even see one, let alone 2 black rhinos, because sadly, there's fewer than 5,000 individuals left in their entire species. They are legally hunted or poached for the horns that grow on their face, and that leaves fewer rhinos here in Africa every single day, I'm very sad to say. Up to your right side, some bongos up on the hill there. Bongos, also known as the ghosts of the forest. They get that nickname because they blend in very well, and they can move through the forest without making a whole lot of noise. I see quite a few of them up there. Now, bongos' horns actually slant backward on their head so they can move through the tall brush without getting tangled up on anything. They can actually run underneath the canopy of these tall bushes and not get stuck. Now, I do see the headwaters of the Safi River. We're going to be making our way down toward the river. Haven't been down there in quite a while, but last time I was at the Safi, about 2 weeks ago, I was able to spot some hippos. We'll see if we can find a hippo or two this time around. Now, hippos are nocturnal. That may prove to be a little more difficult for us to find them, only because they're much more active at night. They're less active during the day, but we'll still keep our eyes peeled. May see them in the water resting or even sunning on the bank. Actually, now that I say that, I do see a couple sunning on the bank. Up to our right side, there's 2 of them laying down there. Now they tip the scales at about 5,500 pounds. They'll generally eat about 90 pounds of vegetation a day, which relative to their size is not a whole lot. Several more to your left side there behind that island. There's a few all the way underwater, submerged. That's what you call a bloat hippos. That's the name for a group of bloat. Now they can hold their breath for about 8 minutes or so. You never really know when they're going to come up for fresh air. It could be quite a while. There's also pinkback pelicans all over the islands and in the water there. They get their name for the pink coloration they'll get in their skin only during their mating season. Another hippo there, just on the other side of the island. We're going to head upriver, see if we can find any more hippos, so hang on.
Are they hungry hippos?
Man, I was about to make that joke.
We'll head by some waterfalls here. They like waterfalls. Oh, there's one walking out onto the island down there to your left. And I actually see quite a few more on the island there too.
He's so chubby.
Now just because they're big doesn't mean they're slow. They can actually run about 25 miles per hour on land. Pretty fast. Oh, down to your left side here as we cross the bridge, some Nile crocodiles. Now Nile crocs are actually the largest crocodile in Africa. They were 18 to 20 feet long, as long as a giraffe is tall. They have 2,000 pounds per square inch bite force and they're very powerful jaws. If they stay perfectly still under the surface of the water, they can hold their breath for about 2 hours. And they can actually run a little faster than my truck can drive. So we're going to keep moving just in case. Yeah, I don't want to chance it again. We're going to keep going. We're going to head towards the savanna, my personal favorite area out here on the reserve. Now, it's a completely different ecosystem than the one that we've been traveling through, so you will notice the landscape is going to change around us. It's going to change quite a bit, actually. May even see some big trees, like this one over here to our right side. It's called a baobab tree, also known as the upside down tree. They get that nickname because they go about 9 months a year without any leaves, and those big branches do tend to look quite an awful lot like roots, as if they were planted, I don't know, upside down. Now they go leafless for that long so they can conserve water during the dry season when there's no rain. Once the rainy season hits, they will sprout leaves, collect as much water as possible, and the trunks will swell up. They can generally hold about 10,000 gallons. And then once the rain stops, they'll drop their leaves again, kind of start that cycle all over. Pretty simple life cycle, but it helps them live to be a few thousand years old at least. That's a small one, believe it or not. We'll see if we can find some bigger ones. Now the savanna stretches for hundreds of miles. It's home to millions of animals. Home to some of your favorites like giraffes and elephants. But this, my friends, is the wild and beautiful Africa we're fighting so hard to conserve and protect here at Harambe. Beautiful out here. This gives you a great idea for how vast the savanna really is. One of my favorite views on the reserve. As we get to the bottom of the hill off to our right side, you'll see a pretty good sized herd of white-bearded wildebeests. White-bearded wildebeests are actually the second most densely populated mammal on Earth, second only to people. That means that some of their groupings will rival the size of a few of our major city populations. They're also known as the gnu. That's spelled G-N-U. That's for the grunting sound they make when they communicate with each other. Sounds like gnu. See some giraffes up ahead as well. Giraffes are the tallest animals on Earth. They stand 18 to 20 feet tall. It's been a good bit of their day eating, about 20 hours a day. Doesn't leave a whole lot of time for anything else, but that's okay. They only sleep about 30 minutes a day total. A few seconds here, a few seconds there, that adds up to about half an hour. That's really all they need. Generally, they don't lay down, they don't close their eyes. They just kind of stop moving for a few seconds in what's called a micro nap, and then they'll start moving again.
And we see
these are Maasai giraffe, one of about 9 different subspecies of giraffe typically found here in Africa. You can tell them all apart based on their spine pattern and some subtle height differences as well. You can see her using that 18-inch long prehensile tongue to grab those leaves. So their tongue is a purplish black color. If it were any lighter, it most definitely gets sunburned. That's how much time it spends outside their mouth. It's the only appendage they have to be able to grab leaves with. Prehensile means that it can be used like a finger to reach around and grab things. It's also extensile, meaning they can reach fully 18 inches outside their mouth. Pack of African wild dogs up to our left side here just behind the cave, also known as the painted dog. They're the #1 hunter here in Africa. They're actually more successful than lions, hyenas, and cheetahs. So the dogs are at the top of the food chain. has a lot to do with their ability to systematically follow their prey till it collapses from exhaustion. And collie cattle out to our left side here. Long horns on their head, 3 to 4 feet in length on each side. The horns can be about 2 feet around at the base. They're the only domesticated species we're going to find out here in Harambe. They were first domesticated by a tribe of people known as the Watusis, so they're also known as Watusi cattle. Some pretty big termite mounds on either side of the truck here. Termite mounds are actually hard like concrete. They get built up big and tall like this one on our left side. Giraffes and elephants will use them as a scratching post to lean against them and scratch their backs. And eventually they get worn down like that one to our far right. Smaller animals will climb up on top of those and use those as a lookout to be able to search for predators in the tall grass. Kind of goes to show that even something tiny like the termite can still have a big impact with what can happen day to day out here on the savannah. You know, that's one of those circle of life type things. Makes you sort of think about the little stuff that could have an effect on our day. This is actually a pretty rare sight, a giraffe laying down. They don't generally lay down to sleep, they'll lay down to rest their legs. Laying down to sleep makes them far too vulnerable to predators. Takes them a long time to get back up. More white-bearded wildebeests over here to our right side. I also see some springbok a little farther out. Springbok are very small antelope. They stand a little under 3 feet tall, weigh less than 100 pounds full grown. Even though they are quite small, they're actually one of the top 10 fastest land animals on the entire planet. They can run between 55 and 60 miles per hour for quite a long time. We're going to get ahead of the migration here just so they don't cut us off. Drive away. Don't worry, it won't feel like that long. Just going to see what we can find along the way too.
It's like a combination of our zoo and Topsy.
To our right side, you can see a pretty big elephant down there by the water. Now we can tell from just a quick look that that's a male elephant, but does anybody know how we know that? Any guesses? Tusks are a good guess.
The size?
That's not it. Ears are a good guess, but that's not it either.
It's alone.
It's actually because he's all by himself. Exactly right. Somebody said it back there, yeah. Male elephants leave the herd about age 14. They get a little too rambunctious with the rest of the group, and they go off on their own. End up liking it a little bit better that way, and they spend the rest of their days alone. They're solitary from that point on. They're just antisocial once they become adults. They actually become really good at putting distance between themselves and herds. Oh, well, it looks like my normal route here is washed away from all that rain we had last week. I know you guys can't read Swahili, but Road Closed means go around. So we're gonna take a little detour. I think we're gonna still head towards that watering hole. I just haven't been this way in quite a while. Green light. Now, I'd like to say we're going to see more elephants soon, but because we found a male first, it could prove to be a little more difficult. Males, like I said, are really good at putting distance between themselves and groups. Sometimes a couple miles, so we'll just have to keep our eyes open and see what we can find. Oh no, everybody lean! To the right! To the right! Oh! Okay, I think we're going to make it. I think we're going to be okay. Just hang on tight, please. Okay, let's get away from that thing. Oh my goodness! If anybody needs a fresh pair of shorts, there's a great market in the village. Oh, there's some more elephants out to our left side. Look at that. Oh, there's even a calf there. Yeah, elephants actually have the longest gestation period of any mammal. It's about 22 months long. After all that time, yeah, like 2 years, they will give birth to a 250-pound calf. Quite a large baby. I can't stop right here when you get around this group of trees here, but hang on tight. We'll see what we can see. Hold on. Herds consist of adult females and their young offspring, because like I said, males leave once they reach adulthood. You'll notice, though, that as you see more and more members of the herd, you'll see that they all have tusks. All elephants here in Africa grow those tusks, both male and female. Unfortunately, though, tusks are quite a burden to bear for elephants. They are made of ivory. Ivory is a pretty hot commodity on the black market. Poaching for elephant ivory is at a very high rate. We're talking 92 elephants a day affected by poachers. Now, we're doing all that we can to stop the sale and trade of ivory so that it's illegal worldwide. But it is definitely an uphill battle, keeping them safe day to day. Unfortunately, greed plays a big part in that. We're going to head down towards the big watering hole here, see if there's any more by the water. Actually, I think there is. Going to be right off to our left side as we head into the water here. Hang on. Look at that. There's at least 3 of them there.
They don't look red at all.
No, they're not red. Only our elephants red.
The myth that elephants are red actually comes from the fact that they cover their backs in mud and dirt. They coat their skin with dirt, red clay, and that protects it from the sun. They use mud and dirt like we use copper tone. Same concept. They can get sunburn. It also keeps the bugs off of them. Down to our left side there, you can see a flamboyant. It's a greater flamingo. They're called the greater flamingo because they're the tallest of the species. They also happen to be the lightest shade of flamingo pink. Flamingos are actually born gray. It takes about 2 years to turn pink, while the brine shrimp they eat in the water where they live. They're going to get the perfect postcard photo right about here. Look at that. You got flamingos and elephants all in the same photo, and one of those huge baobab trees too. There you go. And 3, 2, 1, we're rolling, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Poacher station.
Side of a big tree up here. Now, cheetahs are the fastest land animals on the entire planet. They can sprint for a short time at about 70 miles per hour. They're also the only big cat that's unable to retract their claws. Their claws are always deployed. They act like cleats. Help them dig into the dirt, get traction. They have phenomenal eyesight, so they typically hunt during the day. Most of the big cats tend to rely more on their sense of smell, and they will hunt at night instead. So cheetahs are pretty unique for a big cat. Barely a big cat. They only weigh about 120 pounds, built for speed more than anything else. This large rock formation over here to our left side is called a Okapi, and lion prides do love to make their homes on Okapis. I will tell you though, lions are inactive about 18 to 20 hours a day. Now they do all their activity at night. Their night vision's about 6 times better than their day vision, so it's definitely much better suited for darkness. Oh, I see a white rhino on the hill in front of us. Gonna be on our right side. White rhinos are a little bit bigger than the black rhino we briefly talked about before. They're about 2,000 pounds larger. So full grown, they're about 5,000 pounds or 2.5 tons. I do see a male lion up on the rocks to our left as well. And a white rhino a little bit closer to us too. So we got rhinos on our right, lion on our left. Now, most lion prides consist of 1 adult male, 6 to 8 adult females. The females do about 90% of the hunting for the pride. The male protects the territory. Please don't snap towards the animal. They will charge at the truck. They have excellent hearing, terrible vision, bad combination. I see a female lion up there on the rocks, a lioness. If you're curious how she got up there, she jumped.
She jumped.
Enjoying the sun.
Just like your cat can jump on top of your dresser, yeah, they can jump all the way up there. Out to your left side, here's some warthogs. Warthogs are the largest burrowing animals on Earth. Actually dig out and reuse other animals' burrows at their homes. Looks like mom and a few piglets there. And when they go to sleep at night, they'll actually wiggle into their burrow backwards so their razor-sharp tusks are a primary defense against any sort of threat. You're gonna be able to see a few more white rhinos up ahead to our right side here. Now, white rhinos actually get their name not from the color of their skin, but from a mispronunciation of the Afrikaans word vite or vit, which means wide. That's to describe their flat, wide upper lip that's built for grazing. Black rhinos, on the other hand, have a pointed prehensile lip built for pulling leaves off of branches. Now, one thing that they both share with all other species of rhino, they are victim to poaching. The whole reason that any rhino is affected by poachers, their horn is mistakenly thought to have medicinal properties. It's actually made of the same exact thing that your hair and fingernails are made out of. It's called keratin. So there's no medicinal value at all. It's just a myth. Now, we're doing our best to get that message to those cultures who still believe that myth, though. And unfortunately, it has not been very well received. I'm sad to say that about 2 weeks ago, another species of rhino was declared extinct. That brings us down to 4. 3 years ago, there were 8. Simple math tells us that it is not a good situation for those animals, but we're doing everything we can to protect them, going as far as hiring villagers to be armed security guards to protect those animals 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Now, that helps them learn the habits of those animals as well as the habits of the poachers so that we can stop them. It's worked pretty well so far.
I know. Right?
Now, I tell you about the struggles that these animals face so that I can also share with you triumphs that we're able to accomplish with some of these different species. One in particular that comes to mind involves elephants. Now, there was a recent study finished on the vocalization habits of elephant herds. That study lasted about 4 years here at Harambe. They studied a little over a dozen herds of elephants, quite a few bachelors like the big fellow we saw back there as well. They figured out, among other things, that by and large, elephants are deathly afraid of bees. Sounds a little funny, but we're actually able to put that to really good use, protecting elephants who are being attacked by farmers after they've been eating the farmers' crops. Pretty widespread problem here in East Africa. It took a big toll on the elephant population. So we designed a beehive barrier system that systematically places beehives all around farmlands. Just the sound of the bees will scare the elephants far, far away. It's at a 98% success rate thus far. But using live bees is really important because the bees also pollinate the farmers' crops, which is good for growing. The farmers can jar and sell the honey that's produced as a bit of a bonus. And bees are another endangered species, so we're actually helping 2 species at the same time. Nice win-win for everybody. But conservation efforts like that, one and many more being used all over the world today, are funded by the Disney Conservation Fund. And the Disney Conservation Fund was started in 1995 in an effort to save wild animals in wild places, and it's helped save 115 different species worldwide, not just here in Africa, but all over the world. Now, 100% of the proceeds from the fund go directly toward the animals in their care, and Disney matches any donation that's made dollar for dollar to help those animals. If you'd like to find out more about that, you can do so out there in Harambe Village. I highly recommend it if you have the ability. Now, friends, here at Harambe, we're not big fans of saying goodbye. Instead, I choose to use an old Swahili phrase, Kwaherini. That means go well. So, Kwaherini, folks, have a great rest of your day out there in the village of Harambe, wherever else your travel send you. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to come up front. I'd be more than happy to answer those